Carolyn, here to share another channeled message. This time it's Celeste and me again. Many of you are probably remembering some of the videos we've done recently, and we've made a commitment to start getting more dual videos out where we actually are channeling together. So what actually happens typically in my videos is I channel from the light keepers, and then what I do is I offer you my information that I provide either through my experiences or my understanding of the actual channel, and it's designed to support you along your awakening journey. So the light keepers are a group of angelic beings that I channel for your spiritual awakening and ascension journey. But I've started to add videos where Celeste and I just start channeling. We've had multiple conversations over the last year and a half where we just get on the phone and all of a sudden we start getting information on a topic, because she also does similar work, and also provide her information below if you're interested in reaching out to her as well. But the point is now we're offering some of these channels where we just decide on a Sunday that we're going to talk, and then I click the record button and whatever happens happens. So today, that's what you're getting again, where we really weren't expecting anything. We actually just started to talk because of wanting to update on what's been going on in our weekend and our life. And suddenly you'll see where we just shifted to a topic. And so there's always kind of a warm-up phase. We kind of jumped right in on this. And you're going to take off in this part of the video where we're starting to talk about a topic. So it really stunned us, I think. Again, I always say, take this for what it's worth, how it works for you, how it fits for you, what it means for you. Again, it's just a part of the puzzle of this journey that we're going through. And we're offering it to you today. And just know also at the end, I'll close out with you, as I always do when I do these videos that include both Celeste and me, and remind you of our services as well. And we are starting to do actual channelings together where we offer a new service that I'll tell you more about at the end. I think you'd really enjoy it because they have been incredibly powerful. All right, enjoy the video and I'll talk to you shortly.
I was just about to say, I think it's in March, April. You know, something's going to happen in March, April.
Oh, big time. I don't know what it is though. Why do we think that? Something's up.
It's almost like a spring will be sprung. Ooh,
are you hearing that?
I just got that. But how funny is that? Because it's going to be spring.
Okay,
so whenever.
I just heard. Sorry, interrupting. Just heard energetic event.
Ooh, it's going to be big. It's going
worldwide.
to. Yes. Oh my God, that's when it's going to happen. That is going to push people. It's going to push those people who are not awake to start waking up.
I just heard over the cliff. Now that doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Jumping off the edge. It's time.
Yeah.
But what's tied to that, which is interesting, you're even bringing this up, is I have felt this thing, and I don't know if the December channel said this. I don't remember when I did the last energetic update, which I don't do that many, but spring was this time where we were going to flow into spring, and then it's like a time of change, which of course spring is, right?
Right. Rebirth, renewal, blossoming. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me if you're getting this. They just said to me, it's the earth. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
So, they just said, follow that thread. Meaning follow that thread of channeling.
Okay. All right.
Okay, they just said earth events.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that makes perfect sense though, Carolyn, because what it's going to become more and more obvious that things are changing and shifting, and the earth is, I don't want to say struggling, but she's definitely changing and shifting herself, right?
Well, and so look at Australia right now. I mean, forget whether those were man-made. I have no clue if they were. I honestly don't. But the whole idea of it so out of control, just these kinds of things. I am hearing, God, I hate to even say this, but I'm going to say it because I'm getting the information. It's like catastrophic, some kind of
It's going to be, well, what I'm getting that too, is that there are going to be, that there are going to be more, weather catastrophes like hurricanes and typhoons and wildfire. Like there's
Well,
going
I
to
think we
be,
know, yeah, I think we know that, but this
yeah.
is like something different though, is what I'm getting.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, not just the continuation of all this, because that's a kind of a
Right.
continuation, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
saying, okay, so they're saying an event.
Oh,
Okay, okay, I have chills. And what they just
okay.
said, I don't know, I don't like to present this to people, but seems to be what they were talking about. But
Hmm.
I think it's an earthquake
Oh my gosh.
with a
That's the shifting
tsunami.
and changing. Another one. It's going to be big.
That's what I'm
It's going to
getting.
be big. Because
Earthquake with
let
tsunami is what I'm getting. I
okay,
don't
okay,
know.
okay. So no, that sounds right. So you know what? I think it's going to be multiple places. This is big.
This is big. This is why I've been feeling, okay, this is why I have been getting information. It's now starting to make sense of like, oh, I have chills. Oh, I have super chills. I haven't even said this yet. Where there's this wave of, okay, so we know 2019 was shifting, changing individually and collectively and all of that. But
Hmm.
they just said coming along for the ride. Okay, I think it's Earth's change and shift now into 20. Like, how do I want to say this? It's been shifting and changing, but now,
Right.
like, our worlds have been rocked in 2019. Lots of us, right?
Hmm.
Lots of
Hmm.
us, whether it's
Yes.
clearing, whether it's somebody, the people are awake. There's just been a lot of stuff. Even people who aren't awakening have noticed that it's, stuff has happened in their life, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a sense of this now is a like Earth event. Like Earth now is like doing her thing more.
Hmm.
Her shift and
Yes.
change is happening more. Does that
No,
even ring a bell?
absolutely. Because here's the thing: when horrible, huge catastrophes happen, that is when people's hearts break open and they go through their spiritual awakening and they start understanding that it just it breaks our hearts open for more compassion for our fellow human beings.
And I don't like to talk about, I agree with you completely. You're exactly right. I don't like to talk about timing because I have found that timing is always a little wonky. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and yet I am getting a sense of, like you are, a time of year, I guess I will say. It's not like they're
Yeah.
saying April
Hmm.
26th, 2009.
Yeah, yeah, nothing like that. It just feels like with the launch of spring,
Yes.
obviously in the northern hemisphere, um, it's going to things are going to be happening on a larger scale. That's what I'm hearing.
I
A
just
larger
heard,
scale.
I just heard rock and roll.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Which is it's kind of scary because I live in Oregon and there's a huge fault line that goes from Washington, the state of Washington, all the way down to California.
Right.
And
Right.
they've been saying that we are overdue for a huge earthquake.
Right.
So,
Now, here's the thing.
mhm.
And first of all, just to the audience that happens to be potentially watching this, this was not an intended topic for us.
Mm-mm.
And we had talked about energies and things like that, but we hadn't talked, we just get on and we start talking. And we hit the record button. And
Yeah,
I'm not one to want to do videos to make people fearful or
no.
frightened, because I don't believe that's necessary. It's how we
Hmm.
look at these things. Now, I mean, if you're in the thick of the thing, it is a little hard
Hmm.
not to find that place of the observer, I guess I would say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not to get caught up in the fear because part of the spiritual awakening process is to move out of fear.
And you know what they're saying? The
But
reason I wanted to talk about this is because the rest of us that are light workers, we need to maintain status quo. Okay, they just they can be kind of funny. They're like to chill out, to be able to stay chill. That's what they just said.
hmm.
Stay chill.
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
stay at that rootedness, groundedness, not lose that, again, be that observer when these things
Hmm.
happen, whatever that thing is, if it's that event we're just seeing or
Hmm.
anything, we have the opportunity to make a choice in that moment. We either let our human
Right.
emotions run wild, and then we get into frenzy and fear and
And
whatever it is,
panic.
panic,
Mm-hmm.
anger, whatever it is. Or we can do the thing that happens with us in spiritual awakening, where we start being the observer of all the things we do day to day, where we're like seeing our behavior, but being able to manage it differently. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's part of the spiritual awakening process, though, is
Right.
to be able to detach from what's happening around us, right? So we're letting go of all those heavy energies, like the heavy thoughts and feelings around guilt and shame and fear and all of that, and move up into more of the observer state, right? And so that is our role, is to maintain the equilibrium or chill out and provide support for our brothers and sisters who might just be starting to wake up, because they won't know.
No. And what I'm hearing as you're talking,
Hmm.
we're being prepped to be the stabilizing force, is what they just said,
Absolutely.
which I wrote down because I thought I'd forget. So this is really important, what you just said, what we're just talking about of, and we're not all at that stage yet where it's easy
Right.
to, where we're starting, easy to be the observer, right? And
Right.
when it gets
Hmm.
very personal, it's even more hard. But many of us are now moving into that place where, and I think I talked about this in a recent video about, I don't remember what it was, but where when you're at a family event now, you can kind of go, oh, I don't behave the way I used to behave, because we kind of tend to go back into our child mode, and we all behave the same way we did when we were living there. And
Hmm.
kind of instead observing everyone else doing their thing, and yet you're there watching it, but you're interacting in a whole different way.
Yeah, you don't engage in the old dysfunctional patterns anymore.
No. And so
Hmm.
what they're saying here is this idea of becoming the observer is prepping us to be the stabilizing force.
For those people who are coming up behind us and are starting to wake up, which is going
Well,
to happen this year more than ever.
but what they're talking, yes, that is an accurate statement from what they're saying, but what they're saying is with respect to the events we're talking about.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Nope, I agree. I agree. I feel that that is the role that we're going to be playing, because things are going to amp up.
God, I
Yeah.
can't stop saying rock and roll.
Oh boy.
Okay, rock and roll, shift and change. Mm-hmm.
Because the earth is going through her own awakening process. She's ascending too.
Yep.
So she's shifting and changing her physicality as well as her consciousness. Yeah. So if
Okay.
we physically are experiencing these types of changes, why wouldn't she?
So here's what I just got. I want to see if we're going to get any of this. Do you
Okay.
remember, little backstory here? Do you remember in November when I had a 3-week total cleansing, clearing, chakra onslaught, totally sick for a month?
Mhm.
And I don't think I
Yes.
mentioned this to my audience. I may have. I think I might have mentioned it slightly.
Mhm.
Clearing out, totally needed, totally planned awakening, part of my awakening event. What they're saying is, okay, now they're saying it in sentences. You're going to see the chakras of the earth awakened in a way that they have never been. Okay,
I'm getting
now
chills.
they're giving me a full sense, which will represent itself throughout the world.
Mhm.
Not necessarily in those locations. Do you know what I'm saying? Because of
Mhm.
course our chakras, I mean, we as a human, we can feel it in those places, but they exude out into the rest of our body, right?
Exactly. And that's what the earth is doing as well. So her chakra system is being upgraded and cleansed and shifted. And so then that energy goes out.
And you know what they just said? Yes, exactly. They just said it's a blessed event.
I'm getting super chills right now. Oh my
And
gosh.
here's the human me going, what the heck? Blessed event. We're gonna have all these, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
get that. But you know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm sorry, but my human self is is saying, well, how could an earthquake be a blessed event? That doesn't sound promising. But then there's a part of me that's like, yes, this is going to shift things on such a major level.
Okay, so what I'm picking up, this is crazy. I don't know if this is 2020. It feels 2020 spring to me. I'm just going to say that. You've said that.
Okay.
Whatever it is we're talking about, we don't really know when, right? Or if.
Right.
This is what we're both getting, which is crazy. We just got together to talk about updates on what's going on in your life.
Right.
But what I'm picking up, okay, they're showing me, for better or for worse, the picture of Donald Trump, the president. Okay. They're showing me there's something national or not. I don't want to say national. It's either national, international. This is not a little thing. This is a thing that's going to bring the powers together. I have super chills. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Me too.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Oh.
What is this? What are we seeing? I have so many chills.
Me too. What does this mean? What are you getting?
Do you remember when we were talking about, I don't know how this was. This is another of our wild conversations that we were just talking on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how there was going to be we were talking about the star beings, our ET friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we know they're up there, but the reveal, right? That there would be an event that would potentially occur. We saw this, remember? We thought it was a water event where they would come in and it couldn't be denied that they are here. Like the government couldn't come in and go, well, that was the military. We were doing X, Y, and Z, or deny or blame somebody else, right?
Right.
There's going to be an event where like they rescued people. Remember we saw that?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That was fairly recent. We identified.
Yeah.
So everybody just that's listening, Celeste and I had actually channeled this information based off of, what the heck was it? The reveal of the star beings, or
right. Right. Yeah.
And when are they coming, kind of thing. And then we started getting information that this would be an event that would be undeniable, that there is help. They're around us, that the governments couldn't say, no, it's not real. And
they couldn't push it underground anymore.
Right, because there was some kind of water. Remember we talked about a water event where they would come in and assist?
And I'm getting super chills.
And it's okay.
I remember that.
So what I'm picking up now is this is tied, that piece we just talked about is tied to this event thing that then is a global situation.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. That could, oh my gosh, that could really blow things out of the water.
And I'm not, so I'm just going to tell you right now, because I feel like, this video is just going to evoke a lot of fear in people, but I'm not getting any fear in this. I'm not feeling that at all.
I'm not either.
I'm not either.
It's necessary.
Yes. And
it's necessary.
And I think, they keep saying full of beauty and grace. Okay, now they're explaining this. Because humans do not understand the cycle of growth and destruction and the journey of life. And the cycles. So now they're going on and on.
Well, destruction is growth.
Exactly. But see, we see that as...
Well, so many folks are really frightened of change.
Oh, yeah.
It's really difficult for them. Now, I love change. And so, but even for me, there's the change you want. And then there's the change where you're like, well, I don't think I wanted it that way.
Well, this is what they're talking about, is that, and I think we briefly have talked about this, where can you use our own personal lives? Like when we have really difficult things happen, often, really what feels like awful things in our lives happen, we can oftentimes now look back and go, that turned that corner for me. I wouldn't be here or there if I hadn't had that happen, even though I wouldn't want to
Right.
repeat that again in a million years. It was part of my journey. It's kind of the same thing here
Yeah.
because we don't understand. We don't understand that. We don't see below the surface.
Right. Not yet.
No, not
I
yet.
think you and I are starting to get to that point where we
Right.
are more detached.
Yes, as many are that are awakening that are the first wavers, okay?
Right.
That are
Right.
really, and I will admit, there are a lot of people who now are awakening, because I've worked with a couple of people recently. Oh my God, we're talking warp speed awakening, like started in November. Like right now, anybody watching this is the end of January of 2020. November. And like they're like kind of where I am, where you are. It's like, what? How's that? I mean, so
I
these are
know.
fast awakenings. But not that
So
everybody will
that's
be on that trajectory. But the point is we're getting
right.
to that point where we're able to see, like you said, from the outside in without fear.
And I do see that. Okay, so those of us at the forefront, the forerunners, the first wavers, whatever you want to call us, we have, like, our process has generally been a lot more difficult, maybe harder. The group behind us
Right.
is not going to be as difficult. It's going to be quicker, where it's like that 100th monkey philosophy, right? That paradigm, right? So we are doing all this work
Oh,
for the collective.
they just said parting the waves. Like we parted, okay, like, the Red Sea, if you want to take the biblical reference to parting the Red Sea, they're like,
Yeah.
parting the waves. And I'm also being shown a jungle, like going through, I think I used this analogy once before, going through the jungle. They like to use that, like we're pulling apart
And so we're creating the path forward for those people behind us, so that they don't have to scramble and suffer and, be battle weary, so to speak. And they will have it much easier, and it'll happen much quicker, even for those folks who have no idea what the heck we're talking about.
And guess what? They just said, and I didn't understand this, because you're creating an energetic pathway, and they're showing this beautiful light pathway.
I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills.
Energetic pathway. Now, that doesn't mean that people don't have their own stuff they're going to have to clear and all this good stuff, right? And they're going to
you got to do some of that, right?
Yeah, but there's something about the fact, oh my God. Okay, this is going in a different direction. Tell me what you get here. I'm hearing that we all have cleared for the collective. Oh,
yes. That's what I just said. Yes.
Oh, okay. But I mean,
we are making the path clearer and easier, and removing the obstructions, and so that those behind us, even those folks in our lives, we all know them. They're not awakened, whatever you want to call it. They're not, and they might not ever be. But even some of those folks, like in my life, I have those friends. I love them dearly. They have no idea who I am or what I do. And, or they just nod their head kindly. And, but even they are starting to express a lot more compassion. They even use some words like, oh yeah, I kind of felt a shift there, or I really picked up on that energy. I don't think they even know they're doing it.
No, and you want to know what I just heard while you're talking about this? Because when you talk, then I get more stuff, right?
Yeah.
We are as we went through our own stuff, not that we're done doing it, but as we went through like some of the big stuff we're going through, not only is it our stuff, but they said you're purging their stuff too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like purging for the collective out of your own body, because you came in and said, I'll do this. I'll feel this pain and suffering for not just myself that I have to clear, but for the collective. And some people with their past lives, because of the lives they've had, impacted so many people with the life that they had. And at the time, not necessarily in a positive way, but because they're clearing that now, it ripples through that rest of that collective that was impacted by their actions. Does that make sense?
Yes. I absolutely agree with that. And I feel it too. Yeah. And I'm getting super chills on that. It's so much bigger than we realize. When we're in the midst of it, of the clearing, and we physically don't feel good. And I don't know about you, Carolyn, but there are days where I'm just like, I'm so tired. I want to be done. And
oh yeah.
And right, where you're just like, when is this going to be over? And then when you think of it that way, like us being the forerunners and the first wavers and all of that, we are doing so much more work for the collective. And what we do is so incredibly valuable.
Yep. Oh, I know what it was. What they're saying is humans don't see the big picture because we're really myopic and we think of our personal situation, and we're really lucky if we can even get beyond our own neighborhood or town to think about global events and the whole thing. But forget about that. Think of like galactic events, the whole thing. We don't think that way typically. But when you get it, when you start awakening, you do. That's where you live. You live. I mean, does it make sense? Like you are less focused on your personal situation. Somehow you're taken out of that and you see the big picture, which of course the whole idea of, interterrestrial beings, all of that whole thing, and that we're more than just what we are, that makes you go to that place. But the point they're making is that it is often very difficult for humans to see the big picture, but awakening allows you to start understanding that and shift your perspective so that you don't have that myopic thinking, so that when these events do happen, you kind of get it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. In fact, I'm going to add on to that a little bit. It's kind of like, so many people are really caught in this dream of the 3D personality human self. And then when you start realizing, wait a second, I'm a celestial being. Before I'm a human being, I'm a soul. And as souls, everyone you run into every day is your brother or sister. Like we're all divinely connected, but we are so caught in this sticky web that we've talked about in the past of being this, human being having a human experience, and we, the forerunners and the way showers, are breaking the web apart so that people start remembering who they really are, which is a soul. First and foremost, you're a soul.
Right. But this is so interesting. Oh my gosh. You know what they just said to me?
What?
Okay. Who's ever watching this can feel free to comment on what you get with this too. They just said the event. Now, you know me, I'm not big on the event, because when I hear people talk about the event, I'm like, well, that's not the earth is not, we're not getting a new earth and you're going to be able to just jump off this, and I'm being sarcastic, but not going to be able to just jump off earth, because you'll awaken and jump onto the new earth and go, bye-bye, you guys are going to take care of this yourself, because we're here to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the event has been misunderstood.
I agree with that. In fact, I think you and I have touched on this a few times in the past.
And they said rattling the world, meaning the earth. I think that's the event.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know. Take this for what it's worth. I don't know. I'm kind of getting that. Not kind of. I'm getting that. I don't know what the connection is though. But they just said the event. They keep saying the event, and they're tying it to what we just talked about.
The things that are going to be happening.
They're showing me the chakras again. They're showing me, they're going back to the start of this conversation. I do not know this. I mean, I guess I'll quit trying to explain this, and just express it, because I guess we got to take this for. Wow.
Yeah. No, that's it. It's going to be interesting what's coming.
The event's really been misunderstood. I mean, I know there's different interpretations out there, and far be it from me to know, because I kind of do this thing like, oh, there's not the event. It's all an event.
Right. It's the event is the spiritual awakening process.
Right.
It's always ongoing, and everybody has their own event. It's like little mini events, right? Okay,
totally.
So hold on a minute. I think I'm in the flow here. It's kind of like, everyone has the event is the dark night of the soul, and it's individual for each person. So it's not just one event, even though I do believe that at some point in our near future, there is going to be full disclosure about our galactic star brothers and sisters out there, where it will not be able to be not denied anymore. But I think we all are going through our own individual events.
Okay, you know what that just led to?
What?
I feel like I'm tripping out right now. It's like I'm like, I don't even know what this means. But so they just said, you know, how we talked about Earth's a living being, obviously like us, but they're saying the Earth is awakening. It's having its own event. And then they brought into me the dark night of the soul. Oh God, I have chills.
Oh my God, me too.
Like,
so even
okay,
the Earth is
going
having
through its own awakening.
Yes, yes, yes.
And here's the thing I've always said, and I laugh about this, but it's the truth, kind of the truth. We're the fleas on the dog, so we're going along with the dog, right? You know, we're not jumping off and leaving, going to another dog. I mean, we're the fleas on the dog, and we itching it and driving it crazy, and it's going to awaken. So it's awakening now, but then it's talking about Earth's going to have its own event.
And that is going to wake up even
dark
more
night of the
people.
soul.
But okay, so
what are you getting anything to add to this?
Well, so here's the thing, because Mother Earth is so much more like, her consciousness is so much more pure than ours.
Oh, sure.
So to speak, right? Because she's not going through a human experience. So for her, it's not necessarily a dark night of the soul.
Well, no, they're using that as an analogy.
Okay, yeah. So, but what I'm really getting is that these events that are going to be happening will also not be able to be denied by governments.
That's what I'm saying. We said earlier.
Yeah. Right. So it's kind of like the whole climate change, how everybody is like arguing about it's not happening. Yes, it is happening. Well, it will no longer be able to be denied. That something has shifted, and it's going to happen no matter what people say. They can deny it all they want, but pretty soon they will not be able to deny it anymore. Those people who are really, you know, what's the word? They're really protecting their opinion about climate change or what have you. They won't be able to deny it.
Right.
Big stuff is going to happen.
So what I'm getting to, and I think we said this earlier, is that this event, this series of events, whatever we're talking about here, because we don't have it fully defined, and we're just getting bits and pieces of things. But what I'm very much getting is this. Okay, did you see the movie Arrival? Do you remember the movie Arrival?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
It brought that back into my awareness. Like, it brings the global community together.
That's it.
Oh, I have chills.
That's it. Oh my God, Carolyn, that's it.
The movie, I have super chills. Like, I'm freezing right now, up here too, even.
I know, me too.
Okay, which by the way, chills, if anybody doesn't know, chills is a humongous emphasis confirmation. It's like a exclamation mark on the thing that was just said. So they're showing me that and indicating this also brings in the Galactic Community. I don't know.
I'm getting chills with that.
Oh my God. Like, I'm seeing everyone there, which is also why I got the look of the president or the visual of the president. I think this is so interesting. And, 2020, here's the thing that I have been told before, like toward the end of last year, is that it wasn't well-defined, but it was 2020 is a time of creation. Like, a lot of clearing happened in 2019. Not that the clearing won't continue to happen, but 2020 is a time of creation. Well, think about this a minute. So I think creation, okay, it's all happy and joyful. We're all going to create these beautiful things. Well, creation comes out of destruction.
Yes.
I mean, so who knows, right? The start of creation, because think about this. We're a perfect example of that with awakening. We're kind of destroyed, right? before
Mhm.
we rebuild ourselves into this from this
Yes.
awakening. We're
Yes.
a lot of us are brought to our knees. I mean,
Oh
to our
God, with
knees.
the dark night of the soul?
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. We're brought to our knees, and we really have to look at ourselves. And then we move on from there, because that's when we realize that we're so much more than
Well, that's
just this
where
personality
creation
3D
starts.
self.
That's where
Yep.
new creation starts, which now that's why
Mhm.
they're giving this as the analogy to what's happening with Earth and the entirety
Yes.
of the galactic community. So okay, like as it happens with us, it happens with Earth. It happens with
It's a natural
yeah, it's a ripple
cycle.
effect, is what they're saying too.
Yeah, and
It's
it's a
a similar
natural
process for
cycle.
anything, yes,
Mhm.
of creation.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because
And
we are
we are creator beings incarnate.
well, and yeah, and we haven't, now we're starting to learn how to express that in our fullness in the way we want to, intended to, without all the constraints surrounding us that we've created in humankind, be it, whatever it is. You're
Yeah.
not worthy enough, you can't create that, you can't do what that other person's doing,
Mhm.
or you have to follow some kind of construct that humans have created, be it, religion, political, whatever.
Right.
Those things are all coming tumbling down.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, I have a
A lot
headache.
of good stuff. I'm like, I wonder what's coming.
Well,
It'll be interesting to see what's coming.
I think it will be. And again, I'm just gonna okay. I'm just always like to make these little comments at the end. Is like, take this for what this is worth. This is another one of those we just talk and things show up. We don't have a timeline. We don't know any of this,
Yeah.
even though we
Yeah.
see what we think may be a timeline and events. It may
Mhm.
be more metaphors than anything. We don't know, but that is
Yeah.
clearly what. Obviously, you and I both picked up on this. It's not like it was a uh, two different messages. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
So thank
Yeah.
you.
Take what resonates and
Yeah,
leave the rest.
thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think? Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm still kind of sitting here going, okay. And it's one of those things when you channel and get information, it starts to tell a story over the years of this entire journey of humankind, the awakening journey. And these are pieces of the puzzle, once again. We're all getting pieces of the puzzle, those of us who do channeling. And I would say take this and put it into your puzzle that you are trying to complete as well. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And of course, I always enjoy your comments too. So below, you're going to see the information on Celeste and myself. Again, we offer team channeling, and I also offer other services on my purplerainhealing.com website, where you can take advantage of distance energy healing and channeling, channeled messages on their own, or spiritual awakening mentoring, where I launch you forward in your awakening journey. And I channel throughout all of these sessions. So I would love to work with you and help you in your life journey, be it through the awakening or just in general. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.